1.15 lakh crore for defense pensions. The Union Finance Minister announced this in the recent budget session. This figure is actually a little lower than what was estimated last year, but the pension bill still remains the fastest growing component of defense expenditure over the past decade. This rise in the pension bill has been accompanied by an almost equivalent drop in capital expenditure through the decade. There are two main reasons for increase in the pension bill. First, India's terms of service engagement for personnel are such that the job in normal circumstances ends with a pension. This became a norm after 1976 when the new terms increased the minimum period of service, which effectively meant that most personnel retired with a pension in hand. The effect of this change combined with an increase in longevity of life played a major role in increasing the defense pension budget from 2.28 billion in 1980-81 to 1.33 trillion in 2020-21. The second reason is the implementation of the One Rank One Pension or OROP scheme. Since it came into effect, pension expenditure has risen even faster than before, at a compound annual growth rate of 17%. Moreover, with OROP being a defined benefit scheme that updates outgoing pension periodically based on current employee compensation, the union government committed itself to a liability that will keep growing at even higher rates. But is there a solution to this problem without harming pensioners' interests? We look at a few solutions. The first solution is called the inverse induction method. Let's take Mr. Singh for example. Mr. Singh was recruited by a paramilitary force known as Central Armed Police Force. Mr. Singh, though recruited by the CAPF, will be trained by the Indian Armed Forces for a year and then will work in the army for 7 years. Then Mr. Singh will be sent back to CAPF and will serve there till his retirement. This method solves many problems. Mr. Singh works in the army when he is young, yet will not receive pension when he leaves the army. Instead, he will receive a salary for working in CAPF, his original organization. And he also receives pension after he retires there. This would provide a stable income to the soldier and also decrease the pension outflow, as the OROP of a soldier will be replaced by a much smaller national pension system of a Central Armed Police Forces recruit. This is a long-term solution, but there are also some short-term solutions, such as bringing India's armed forces personnel under a variant of the National Pension System (NPS), so OROP won't apply. But doing this seems difficult because of the political promise made about OROP by both leading parties. Retaining retired armed forces personnel in the other segments of the national security system, like intelligence, the Defense Research and Development Organization (DRDO), ordnance factories, etc. This solution is not viewed favorably by retired armed forces personnel currently due to the concerns of loss of rank, seniority, and pay protection, reducing the intake of defense personnel in the armed forces over time. Such reduction is heavily dependent on operational requirements and threat perceptions. Given India's national security challenges posed by China and Pakistan, a major reduction in intake is unlikely. For a deeper dive into our assessment, check out our discussion document. Also, to watch more such videos, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon.